All right, so I figured I'd come to you guys live today because I got a new reel in today that I hadn't worked on yet, and so I wanted to go live because when I started working on this reel, I really had some high hopes for it. When I first put it in my hand, I have to be honest, I was very, 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 very unimpressed. Now, what this reel is, okay? Now I know that the camera's backwards, but it's a 13 fishing prototype TX, okay? Now, as soon as I got into this reel, right, when I start working on spinning reels, okay, in most cases you've got to take the spool off. Okay, so I start off taking the drag knob off, pull out the retainer ring to pull out the drag stack. Well, I pull out the drag stack, and it's a 3-disc drag stack, but the bottom disc is actually a piece of like rubberized cork. Now I know that this has been used in the past, in the way, way, way past, for some drag washer purposes, but not a big fan of it. I think there's a lot more out there. So, like I said, it's a 3-disc drag washer set. 2 of the drag washers are carbon fiber or carbon tex, and that third one, like I said, it's this rubberized cork. So right away, I really wasn't impressed. So as soon as I got into it, I went and started doing some research, and I couldn't find any information beyond the reel schematic on the 13 Fishing website. And I had never even heard of this spinning reel before. I've worked on plenty of Concept TX, Concept TXZs. I've worked on the majority of everything else 13 Fishing has. And I've never been a huge fan. I just think that they sell a fishing reel, right? I don't think that there's a whole lot of innovation that's coming from them. A lot of people ask me what I think about them, and a lot of times only thing I can really say is the good thing is that they got a lot of bearings. The bad thing is that they've got a lot of bearings. So I clicked on some other links to get to some information on this reel, and the first place that I found any information on it was from was from Walmart. And right here on the Walmart page, the information, the details from it, says built to pull double duty in freshwater and saltwater. The 13 Fishing Prototype TX spinning reel provides everything that anglers need to tackle big fish on tight line. Encased in an old school metal body cover, okay? It's not a metal body, it's a metal body cover. This spinning reel offers a high line capacity and a smooth freak drag system. So I can only assume that the freak drag system is the matrix combo between the carbon fiber or carbon tex and the what seems to be some sort of rubberized cork. It says that promises peace of mind when there's a big fish on the other end of the line. Engineered with a focus on seamless operation and dependability, the 13 Fishing Prototype TX spinning reel's glide oscillation system and titanium-coated bail ensures trouble-free performance cast after cast. Now hear me out right here, okay? Boasting a superior 12-pin Japanese anti-reverse system, okay? Now, I don't know about you all, but this looks like a stock ARB to me. And if you count the pins inside, there isn't a 12 pin. There aren't 12 elongated roller pins in there. There's only 8, which is like old school. All right, not impressive at all. Maybe it's written wrong. Maybe the information was conveyed to Walmart wrong, or whatever it may be. But this is not a 12-pin ARB. Put this back. And a 4D forged drive gear. Now, somebody out there may be able to enlighten me on what a 4D forged what 4D forged actually means. I tried to look it up, and I'm in the middle of my workday, and so I wasn't able to get into it too much, because I think I'm going to have to do a deep dive into it just to find out what 4D forged is. But to a layman like me, this main drive gear looks like a lightweight aluminum piece of shit. Okay, and I can say that because I've worked on enough reels with this lightweight aluminum that they really are shit. All right, now I could be wrong. There could be something different or special about this main drive gear, but it doesn't feel like it, and somebody would have to really convince me otherwise. Okay, now we move on to keep going. After the 4D forged drive gear, the prototype TX spinning reel provides uninterrupted rotation that you can feel with each revolution of the handle. It's supposed to be uninterrupted. There isn't supposed to be something interrupting the handle as it spins or as you turn it. So I don't know quite what that's supposed to mean. It says, and it goes on to say, made to handle the most demanding conditions, the 13 fishing prototype TX spinning reels employ Concept Zero bearing technology. All right, Concept Zero bearing technology. Okay. Now I know what CZBs are. Okay, Concept Zero bearings are like these orangish polymerish bushings that come in the Concept Zs. You know, the one that was originally supposed to be built to withstand the damaging effects of the Gulf Coast with those bushings and not bearings, okay? Well, this could be wrong, and honestly, I have to believe that there was some sort of mix-up in the communication right here, because there's only one place in this entire spinning reel that I found what could possibly be CZB material, okay? Now, I'm going to show you. Up in here, with most spinning reels, you'll have a line roller, and inside that line roller, to keep it free spinning and floating, all right, you've typically got a bearing or a bushing. Well, in here, there's these two very fine, it looks like bands, like circular bands of CZB material, okay? Which I can't comment on that because I don't know how well it's going to hold up. This is obviously a new reel. They're obviously trying something different in there. It's obviously a different configuration that's making this line roller group right here work. So I don't want to bang on that because I haven't seen it anywhere else, and we'll have to give it time to see how it works. Personally, I like the idea of the CZB material being in there. I don't know if this is going to work long term or not, but I really like the idea of a bearing not being able to seize or rust or corrode into place, locking all of these parts up in here together. Okay, so I do like that. So now we keep on moving on. Okay. Oh wait. So the CZB, the employ the Concept Zero bearing technology. That's the only CZB technology that I have found throughout this entire fishing reel. All right, just looking at what I've disassembled, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I see six stainless steel shielded bearings in here that, for lack of better words, appear to be stock, just like any other reel that I get into. Most of them seem to use a lot of the same bearings. So this, I would have to believe that the details on the Walmart website are wrong, because I don't think that a reel manufacturer would have risked putting this information out there and then putting a reel out there for sale that actually was built contrary to what the details actually said. So I hope that that's the case, because I mean, this is a fairly brand new reel. My customer used it down in the Chandelier Islands, just off the Louisiana coast, and every single bearing throughout this entire reel is trashed. It's got to be replaced. So this whole reel needs an entire brand new bearing swap. Let's keep going. Nerd water and debris repellent coating stands up to harsh environments. I have to assume that that's this blue paint, I don't know, it's kind of got a weird texture to it. So I have to believe that that's probably what that is. And so far I think that whatever they've been doing, as far as this coating goes, seems to be working all right. I mean, the Gulf Coast is pretty tough on fishing reels. And so then it goes on to say, covered in an eye-catching sea foam green coloring, the 13 Fishing Prototype TX spinning reel provides tough as nails performance that gives anglers the freedom to chase down bass in all environments. Okay, so it's going to say, then the bullet points down here, okay, it's going to say old school metal body covers, panic bait alarm, and I have to assume that's the drag click pin and the drag click spring working in tandem with the spool assembly itself. So essentially, when you catch a fish and that fish starts to pull drag, you hear a click, 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 click. Okay. It says centrifuge airfoil carbon rotor design. So figure it has something to do with this rotor, how it's designed, and not a huge deal in my opinion. And it says turbine one-piece screw-in handle, which is basically like old school fishing reels. You put it in there and you turn the handle forward until it locks into place. There isn't even a cap on the other side that screws into it. It just screws in from one side. Next it says NERD, N-E-R-D, nanotechnology, water and debris repellent coating. So I'm sure that that's the coating that's on it. And as far as this reel goes, coming back from my customer's trip to the Chandelier Islands, the exterior of the reel seems to still be in really good condition. So that might be working. Then right here, it says Concept Zero Bearing Technology. Okay, and I've already covered that. There's only one spot in here with any of that technology in it, and that's up in the line roller group. And like I said, that's these two little bands that sit up in there. Corrosion resistant high spin bearings. Well, I just got done saying that every single other bearing in here is all stainless steel shielded. I shouldn't say apparently, I should say seemingly to be a stock bearing, okay? Freak drag system. I have to assume that's the matrix between the carbon fiber tex and that rubberized, what seems to be rubberized cork at the bottom of the drag stack. An airfoil carbon body. And I have to assume that this is airfoil carbon body inside there. Now, I'm going to jump over here to this other literature that I pulled up from a different website that apparently was selling some of these same reels. And as you can see here, it says $289. $289. All right. $289. I do not think that this reel is worth $289. If you are going to spend $289 on a spinning reel, okay, spend it on a Shimano Stratic. Straight up. I wouldn't even argue that, because from my experience over the last 13 years of servicing basically every generation of Stratic that has come along, the Stratic is without a doubt a better buy than this 13 Fishing prototype PTX 4.0.